Hello and welcome to the Pintcast.
Oh, wait, sorry.
Oh, not yet.
No, sorry.
Hello, everyone. We're not starting yet.
Right.
We'll start in a second. We good? Hello and welcome to the Pintcast. I'm joined today by Travis. You can follow him at _Zeets. He's got a new handle. What's up, Travis?
Yeah. Hey, how are you guys doing?
Fantastic. And joined by Joseph. You can follow him at I Hate Your Club. What's up, Jay?
Hey, hello, everybody.
Hello, hello. It has been a scandalous 24, 26 hours or so in the world of football. We've been it's been the biggest topic in the world for about a day. It's crazy times. What do you think? I mean, Joseph, how do you feel about soccer finally making the front pages, but only for corruption?
Well, I guess it's good that it's front page news, and it'll last for, I don't know, a day or two. So that's always fun.
A day or two? You think this isn't going to be a talking point for a very long time?
I mean,
if this happened in like a major American sport, this would be a talking point for a long time, don't you think?
Yeah, it'll be. I mean, it was on CNN today. It'll probably be on CNN tomorrow, and maybe to Friday, but that'll be it.
Interesting. I mean, I think it feels bigger than that. I don't know, Travis, give me your thoughts on the state of the sport and what this indictment means.
Well, it's just I think it's gonna affect every level of soccer in U.S. soccer because a lot of the people indicted are CONCACAF people, and they have their hands on like grassroots soccer in Americas. So it's like from even the South American ones to the U.S. ones, or even the NASL guy that we talked about. So it's really big for U.S. soccer, and especially since it's the Department of Justice, the United States Department of Justice is doing it. It's not like this is happening with European powers. This is America convicting people that's in charge of American soccer. So I don't know. I think it's gonna have a big resonating effect, especially to see who's gonna take over because the people that have been in that position have been there for a long time. That's usually how corruption works. But I don't know. It's gonna be. Yeah. I think it's gonna change a lot, actually.
Really? I'm surprised. Yeah, I mean, it could. It's just that. Don't you think maybe that Blatter may end up taking the fall, and most of the other people will get off with hand slaps?
Oh no! What Blatter? Remember in his statement and in FIFA's original statement, he said that they were the ones who filed the complaint to the Department of Justice or to the Swiss officials in the first place. They were because they can't really arrest those people on their own, but it seems more like Blatter's taking out the competition, and because he was the one that was giving away the room numbers. He was like, while the whole thing was happening, it was reported that he was sitting in the lobby drinking champagne and giving away people's room numbers. So Blatter's is basically untouchable in this instance because I don't even think if they search hard enough, they're ever going to find any evidence of him actually pocketing money. It's probably going to be like an instance where a bunch of money is at a room and it just disappeared and nobody knows where it went. But I
mean, he's as dirty as they come, though. I mean, it's not.
Yeah,
I don't think it really surprised anyone what's happened. Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, look, to be in control of this organization for as long as he has been pretty remarkable. But do either of you think? I'll come to you, Joseph. Do you think that there's a chance that FIFA can redeem itself in any way? And that means like with an overhaul, or is it going to take? There's a groundswell of a little bit of momentum for getting rid of FIFA altogether. I mean, in terms of
but I think that's a lot of opportunistic people trying to take advantage of the situation, and like UEFA, who wouldn't isn't shocking, and Platini, who is Mr. Clean. So I just think it's talk about basically a new federation is way ahead of where they really are. But I mean, hopefully it'll just make it change. I mean, we've all grown up with, even as old as I am, I've grown up with knowing FIFA was corrupt. I mean, this is nothing new. We all knew it 10 years ago. We all knew it 20 years ago. You know, I mean, it's always been shady. It's as shady as the Olympic Committee is.
It's true.
They really are some of the most corrupt groups that we've seen, really. I mean, look at world politics and all the stuff that's going on with these guys. I mean, bribery stuff. I mean, how the fuck can you, like, we all knew in 2010 that this was all fucking rigged. You know, like, you can't feasibly tell someone that you're going to host a tournament in a country where it's 120 degrees during the summer and you're going to sell them on making artificial fucking clouds. You know, like, this shit is ridiculous, and it's absolutely dirty. But it's about fucking time they're doing something.
Well,
you know?
They basically just pissed off the wrong entity, right? I mean,
right?
Yeah,
that's what happened, right? If the U.S. gets the games that Qatar got, does this happen? Maybe, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they're doing some self-reporting, but yeah, I mean, they are certainly exposing how they got chipped, so to speak.
Yeah, and the thing is, the Loretta Lynch, she just got into power recently, even after she was delayed by Republican vote. You know how that works. But she just got into power recently, and they started a case a couple of years ago, and the statute of limitations on it was running out. I think it's like a 5-year statute of limitations. And I don't understand why FIFA, when you're that corrupt, how you could be stupid enough to start doing wire transfers from U.S. banks. Like, you've been in this game too long, and you're going to do the one thing that's basically, huh?
That might be part of the problem. They've just been getting away with it for so long. They're like, no one will fucking touch us.
It's basically like pride comes before the fall, where it's just like, dude, we could do whatever you want, and then you just wire it into the wrong entity, and it's just like, all right, yeah, you guys have fucked up really badly.
So Travis, who do you think looks the worst out of this? You know, because obviously Blatter hasn't been indicted himself. But like you said, there's several CONCACAF representatives, but there's representatives from all over the globe.
Well, I think in general, CONCACAF looked the worst out of everybody because it's just, you look at the list of names and it's just like, wow, this is, CONCACAF is really bad. I mean, I'm pretty sure every other federation is terrible. Like, what was his, Don Julio from Argentina, before he died, he was one of the most awful human beings in the world. But yeah, CONCACAF looks really terrible, and FIFA looks bad, but FIFA's always looked bad. That's not a surprise. We know FIFA sucks. But they just outright came out and said the Qatar World Cup is still going to go on, the Russian World Cup is still going to go on. So
well, of course they're going to say that.
Yeah. So
what can be done to overturn that, though? I mean, even if we want to, how is that going to be able to be changed?
I'm not even sure, because even if you look at the list of the people that voted, all of them have either quit under, murky circumstances,
sure,
or been indicted for something, or just they've all been through something ever since they voted for that. And it's when you look at it, you're just like, okay. Everybody who voted in there was dirty. The whole process was dirty, but it's just gonna go. The show continues, and the most you could do is try to get in separate individuals, because you can't get the whole of FIFA, so you have to take out individuals. It's like, I think one of our writers compared it to the Al Capone thing. You can't really get him on the main things, so you get him on taxes.
Right, you got to find whatever way you can actually tangibly grab them for. I mean, do you think Joseph? Do you think anyone's going to actually roll over on Sepp? I mean, you would think that the people are high profile enough within that you think they probably have something they could turn over on him. Or not.
Or not.
I guess he left us. He left us in a fit of rage.
Yeah, he just got so fed up with Sepp.
Joseph, you were so mad at Sepp, you rage quit.
I was so mad I turned it off. No, I guess, I don't think so, because even if these people are convicted, how much time are they really going to do?
Right.
and it's not going to. They're not going to be up. You're not going to be here in Tehachapi here in California, where it's a maximum security prison or anything. It's going to be a federal prison. So I mean, maybe they're put away for 6 months on tax evasion or something, or illegal use of wire transfers or something. Why give up the guy who's going to control the money for still years to come?
Look, honestly, I don't personally care about guys that are doing this money laundering, like serving hard time. That's not of importance to me. It's the fact that matters that they took the money, and this happened. And when you get them like the fuck out of the organization, you need them out of football and out of FIFA. That's what matters to me.
Right.
Like, I don't care. Like like you said, he's never going to serve like real prison time. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, but even if they're out of the federation, it doesn't mean the money. I mean, if that bladder, then the money's probably going to stop. They're not going to be able to stay in the federation and roll over.
So, Travis, what do you think is going to happen with Sepp? Is Sepp going to win the next election on Friday?
Oh, yeah, easily. He's basically running unchallenged again. Who's his only opponent was the Prince, and Figo was so out of his element and so overpowered.
Very out of his depth.
I don't even think Figo would have gotten one vote, but Sepp doesn't even have to do anything. He's a dictator. At this point, he's a dictator. He doesn't have to run because he's already won before the election even starts. Like when they asked him about a debate or his manifesto, he said, "My years is FIFA. At FIFA is my manifesto." He folded his arms and just sat there like a pouty child.
Yeah,
FIFA is his sandbox.
Yeah,
FIFA is his sandbox. He owns it. He's the king of the sandbox.
But like it's sad and it's shameful that it's playing a game like this has, the players have nothing to do with this, and there's nothing they can really do about it. And what are they going to do? Protest a World Cup? You're not.
We can wait till Sepp Blatter dies. He's really old, but evil people usually live a long time.
Stupid bastards alive.
Well, when you're evil, you usually last a long time.
I feel, does he have like a fake heart like Dick Cheney? I feel like they're in the same category.
Yeah, look at Rupert Murdoch. He's like 97.
Yes.
It's the evil, man. The more kids you kick, the more kids and puppies you kick, the longer you live.
Oh, God.
That's why I've become
a
person.
Inhale their youthful exuberance. God. Feeding on their hopes and dreams. This
it's how Voldemort stayed alive.
Fair enough. So, Sepp will win again on Friday. You don't think? Do either of you think that there would be at least a couple votes that would change due to this? I mean, yeah, maybe it won't change the election, but do you think it's going to affect the percentages at least something significantly?
No. I mean, European Federation was going to go for the Prince, right? That doesn't change? So
yeah.
But everybody else, no. I mean, no. I mean that would be too good of things to happen, right? I mean, I don't think things work like that.
Well. I guess we'll have to see how that pans out. I mean, we'll see. We got a lot of time. There'll be a lot of developments. I'm sure these next couple of weeks there'll be a lot more to talk about through Discovery and maybe congrats, because like people, when you tell them they got to roll over on 150 million or 10 million, whatever crazy numbers, big money.
Yeah, you saw that guy that paid that 150 million just to stay out of jail.
Nope. Here you go.
I don't want to go to prison.
He's like, I'm not getting raped. It's not happening.
But the optimistic part in all of this is the fact that the Department of Justice said that this is only the beginning. And the fact that the Swiss officials are, because might be one of the few times I've ever seen Switzerland actually say, okay, come get these guys, or we're going to help you get somebody in Switzerland.
That's so out of character for them.
Switzerland is literally where people go to run away from the law.
Yeah, that's where you go for asylum.
Yeah, Switzerland or like Venezuela or like someplace nice. Cuba. Let's go to Cuba. But yeah, this is one of the few times I've actually seen or heard about Switzerland saying, okay, we're going to help you get these guys. And they're not letting the other officials leave either. They're holding them down for as long as the investigation takes. So I guess that's the optimistic part, that a lot of nations are banding together to try to, take down FIFA.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Let's shift gears a little. Let's head to Spain. There's been some interesting action, and as well as there's a Copa del Rey final at the weekend. Some people may be taking it for granted that there's a good chance Barcelona will win. They're facing a resilient Athletic Bilbao side.
Oh no, they're gonna kill him.
Yeah, they're probably gonna kill him. They're probably gonna kill him, and it'll be the second jewel in their crown for the season.
It's a pretty big turnaround for Barcelona over the year. I mean,
yeah.
Remember when there were people questioning whether Messi even likes to play football anymore? Remember that?
Sure. Yeah. No, everyone started.
I read an article about that. He might not be even good at it anymore. It was pretty good.
Oh, somebody wrote that.
It's one of my favorite articles ever, honestly.
Dude, I still get emails to this day of people telling me to go to hell.
People get touchy. You touch the golden boy, and someone who's like their messiah, they're gonna come out with their pitchforks.
Dude, it's so sarcastic.
I know how it is, man. But,
yeah,
it's part.
One of the sentences.
You're asking the public to
Dude,
be
one of the sentences
wise.
in that article literally says that Messi doesn't have a left foot, and people got so upset about that sentence too. And I'm like, how? Like how? But it's still fun. It gets hits on the website still. So
there you go. It's just still doing work for you. There you go.
Yeah, keeps the money coming in.
So let's talk.
But they've come a long way, right?
They have.
Yeah.
They have, and like you said, it wasn't that long ago. It was a few months ago in the season. After the end of the last season, that was probably the lowest point they've had in fucking decade, 8 years. I mean, you know what I mean? Like not winning anything last season was about as bad as they've done. In any regard, missing out on the title at the end and all that. And but they found the formula in the second half of the season. I mean, 2015 has been Messi's year, no doubt. He's absolutely.
Well, as soon as he lost the award to Ronaldo, he just turned it on.
Yep. And and then Ronaldo went on that drought, right? Simultaneously, right? Remember, right then he didn't score in 5 or 7 games, something like that.
Well, because in January, Ronaldo had 30 goals to Messi's 15. And I was like, "There's no way he catches up." And then
he was leading for a while.
How to play?
He didn't fucking hand over penalties. He might have at least taken a share. Yeah. Wait, Ronaldo won by a couple goals, right?
Yeah, he won. Yeah. But I think one of the biggest changes that Barcelona made, because I don't even think the criticism at the beginning of the season was unfair, because Enrique was doing some weird shit.
Wasn't he changing the team constantly?
Yeah, they didn't have a starting 11. It was just constantly changing it, and then there was the weird combinations where Busquets and Mascherano will play in midfield, and then he'll drop Mascherano back in defense. And it was just dude, get your team. And then he finally decided, hey, I have 3 of the best attacking players in the world. I'm just gonna get the ball and just hand it over to them and let them work. And then it's oh yeah, it works because you have Messi, Neymar, and Suarez. Interesting how that works out.
Yeah, Brian was just commenting on that as well, friend at Gunner Faithful. Yeah, I mean, when you have that kind of attacking talent up top, I mean, like you said, we let him sort it out. And look, it was always going to take a little while because of the band that Suarez had. But we always knew you put these 3 together, they're going to find a way to play together. And when that happens and they click, it's going to be fucking beautiful. And Rakitic just slotted in really well in midfield. I think he's done a very good job of filling Cesk's boots there.
Yeah,
and they've been more successful. What did you say?
I said, plus he's handsome, so that always works out.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I suppose that helps. That helps, I'm sure. But they look good going into this final, likely to get their like I said, the second title of the season. And it's one nice aspect of it is that it would set up a Champions League final between two teams that have now done the domestic double going into the European final. I mean, I think it's about as sexy of a matchup as you could imagine. Joseph, we've gone over this a bit before, but I mean, is your stance changing at all in terms of who you think is going to win that final? Do you think Juve have a chance?
Oh yeah, you may have a chance. I mean, because shit happens.
Yeah.
But I mean, it doesn't happen like it happens to Arsenal. I mean, it's not like it's not like Barcelona's keeper's going to get sent off, within the first
that won't happen.
20 minutes. That's not going to happen.
First he gets sent off.
Right, and no one's going to get a second yellow card for kicking the ball away. I guarantee that ever again. But yeah, I mean, Juve's got a shot. I mean, Juve's a good team in good form. Who've gotten better and better too. So, I mean, yeah, I think most everybody thinks Barcelona's going to win just because of their attacking and with the form that Messi's in. But yeah, I'm on board. I want Juve to win. So
do I. So do I. I don't think that Travis would join us in those sentiments. But Travis, with your anti-Juve sentiment aside, do you think that first are these two teams the two best teams in Europe this year? Are they fully deserving of being there, or was there a team that came up short that should have been there instead?
You look at the teams that they beat, and you can't really argue that they don't deserve to be there. Juve beat Real Madrid, and Barcelona beat Bayern. So you beat the best, you're the best.
Respect.
So, and I think Juve have a chance because they're not idiots. That's like their biggest strength is they're not stupid. Because even the way they played Real Madrid, it's like, okay, you have super fast players. We're not going to put our players in positions where they have to chase your players.
Right.
And then Vidal and Pogba in midfield is awesome because you have two box-to-box midfielders who could do everything. So yeah, they're not gonna be one of those idiotic teams that plays into Barcelona's strength, like when they play Manchester City or when they play Arsenal, and then we try to.
Certainly their defensive organization has been on point. I mean, I thought it was really impressive in that match against Real Madrid.
Yeah, Real Madrid weren't prepared for a team that's not gonna open up for them, and it's not like they play Chelsea style. They're just smart.
Right.
They're not gonna park the bus, but they're smart. So.
Yeah, no, they still were attacking on the break and doing what they did, but they kept their formation tight and their shape was good. So moving on from that, we have your thoughts on that. Will you pick Juve over Barcelona in that final?
No. Hell no. They have Messi.
Yeah, exactly. They got Messi and motherfucking Suarez. I'm excited though. It's such a good matchup. I know, but it's such a good matchup in terms of there's the storylines of. Yeah, it is. It's Messi, Neymar, and Suarez. Suarez still is ahead of Neymar for me. Maybe not personality-wise, but certainly as a footballer.
As a person, he's garbage. But we'll talk about that later. I think I have an article coming on about that.
Fair enough. Check that out on SB Nation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should be front page because I'm important now.
Yep, front page. Zito. Check it. But so there's other interesting news coming from Spain, possibly relevant to Italy. Are you guys going to get Carlo back at AC Milan?
Oh, I hope we do. Even though it's really, really weird. He's been a weird manager at Milan because after he got fired, me and a couple of people on Twitter were looking at his stats or like his years, right?
Yeah.
And he won the league with PSG. He won the league with Chelsea.
Yeah.
But besides that, he didn't win it with Real Madrid, and he only won it once in 6 or 7 years at AC Milan, which is kind of stunning when you look at those years, and that's where Juventus got their,
But he hangs his hat on winning champions. He's won a couple Champions Leagues, which is certainly
he's a Premier League manager.
But if you're winning Champions Leagues, that's good enough for a lot of people, I think.
Oh no, I'll take that over the league.
Yeah, and certainly,
can have the domestic league all they want. Let us get the Champions League.
Yeah, it's the holy grail,
Yeah.
It's been how long since we won a league? But I mean, if you could give Arsenal a Champions League title, that'd be.
Oh, keep dreaming, Joseph.
Yeah, I know.
Oh God, 2006. It was right there. It was right there. No.
Right there. Well,
I'll take a Champions League over 4th place any day.
Over our regular trophy. Hey, we had a new trophy. It's the 3rd place trophy this season.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, but what do you think Real Madrid are doing? I mean, they haven't. They go and they fire Ancelotti. Is there a better coach for him? I mean, it looks like Benitez is going to be the guy, right?
Which is hilarious because Benitez is awful. He is an awful coach.
Well, I hate to fall back on cliches, but you've seen. I've been watching, looking at the way. For once, I actually agree with some of the guys on ESPN FC talking about him with his man management skills, and it's just kind of like, well, the way he kind of seems, and he's a bit blustery. It seems like he might have trouble dealing with all those egos,
He is. He's a strict micromanager. Real Madrid is full of stars. They're not just full of regular stars. They're full of stars that have won everything you could win. And he's gonna go there and try to tell them how to tie their shoes. And the next thing you know, Sergio Ramos is gonna headbutt him, and then we're gonna be here laughing at him. Like he's not only because he's a terrible man manager, because he's crazy, but he's a terrible manager because he took over for Walter Mazzarri or whatever from Napoli.
And
he turned them bad. He got a better Napoli team, and he made them worse. And
I mean,
when he's at Chelsea,
he did lose Cavani.
Yeah, well, but you still have Higuain, you have Callahan, you look at the Napoli team, and they should be second or at least challenging for the title. They're a better stacked team than Roma is.
I don't know if I agree with that, but
even at the beginning of the season when they were playing well, they were challenging Juventus really heavily, and then towards the end of the season, it's just like, well, we'll just lose and draw the next 6-7 games and see how this season turns out. And even before that, at Chelsea, you remember how awful this Chelsea time was?
Yeah, well, I mean, that was a poison. That's a poison chalice. Like he's been a dumbass and walked into some stupid ass jobs. You know what I mean?
Well,
what the fuck do you think you're gonna go? But I mean, what do you think you're gonna do if you're leaving Liverpool and going to you've left Liverpool and you're gonna go back and go to Chelsea? Like the battles you guys have had, and their fans are a pack of fucking cunts. They're gonna hate you for the first
time
game.
In Italy was bad too.
Yeah. But then you're gonna follow Mourinho after he win. Did he win the treble with them? What did he do? He won the Champions League. He won something else, right? They won the domestic league as well.
Yeah, he won the treble. He won Champions League, domestic league, and a cup. Yeah, but it's like Rafa, besides his Valencia and his 2005 Champions League, you look at what he's done, and it's like, you're not really as good as your reputation seems.
It doesn't seem like he's good enough for Real Madrid. Joseph, what are your thoughts on?
No. I have no idea Joseph, sorry.
No, I'm saying, Joseph, what do you think? What are your thoughts on what Real Madrid are doing? I mean, it seems like if you don't win the league, you're 100% gonna lose out. He needed to win the Champions League to keep his job.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you have, most likely Barcelona waiting for you in the final, that's and then you end up losing the league, especially when Barcelona started off poorly, but I mean poorly for them, but not overall poorly. But I think that's just what happens. I mean, we're just used to it. They only got two-year managers basically, right? They give them a year, and if it works, great. If it doesn't work, they might give them a second year, and sometimes even in that second year when they win, they go. I mean, that's just the way it's done there.
Like the policy at Real Madrid seems to be like, okay, every year we need the shiny new toy.
Well, right. So this year it's a manager because it might not be players.
Like you said, it's about every 2 years. By the time they were at their welcome. Well, you didn't win the league this year. Well, but usually, I mean, it made sense with Mourinho not doing so well, and then you had Ancelotti who seemed, who was available. When it seems like there's a right guy to come in, but I mean, it's not like there was some glowing candidate. I mean, what the dark horse move, and they coming for Arsene or what?
Oh, they always come for Arsene. But
yeah, he probably still got a phone call this time. Florentino's like, "Hey, you ready yet?" Nope.
Dude, the whole Real Madrid thing is really weird, especially considering that Perez is like, he gives managers the most time out of like all his predecessors. You look at the most time, like it's like it was like one was 26 managers in like a 20-year time. It's weird. Like that's the whole culture, and Perez is bad, but he's the best of the bunch, which is stunning. Nice. But like Real Madrid hasn't won the league in like they've won the league once in 7 years,
right.
And that was Mourinho.
Got that one.
Yeah, but that's not what they wanted when they got Mourinho. They wanted
the Champions
League. 10th. They wanted the 10th Champions
La Décima.
League. And Carlo got them that, and it still didn't save him. So
we see it. Like we said before, Capello got the axe after winning the league as well. And
Del Bosque got it for winning the league as well. So
exactly. They're they're notorious. But it's funny, right? I mean, like it seems like we're doing pretty good business. Like the new philosophy that Arsenal have adopted in this past 2 seasons has been pretty smart. It's like whatever talented player who's not being given enough playing time and that they decide they're going to replace with shiny new toys who we pick up, and it's been working pretty well for us.
Yeah, all you have to do is just wait in the front door of Spain's Big Two, and you're going to get some incredible players. Look at Robin, look at Huntelaar, look at Van der Vaart when he actually had legs, or Schneider when Schneider was still a human being. But it's like all you have to do is sit there at their door, wait 2 years or wait a year and a half, and you're gonna get some great players because they don't understand what to do with them. But it's such a weird situation because like even Ronaldo came out and blatantly made that Instagram post that was like, "Hey, I really want to work with this guy next year."
Yeah.
And all the players are like putting up their posts like, "Look, please stay."
Yeah.
And then Perez is just like, "Dude, get the hell out."
Yeah, but they know. I mean, guys like. It's funny because you have the few players there that are kind of like the lifers, right? I mean, who do we have now? I mean, we know that Ramos started with Sevilla, but he's been at Real for quite a while now, so he's almost
he's Real through and through now.
Yeah, totally. And so him and Casillas, and there aren't many others, but
Marcelo's
been there he's been there for quite a while.
Yeah, Marcelo's been there for like I think a decade now. He's
been there when he was weird. He
still looked like Robinho.
Yeah, that's true. Back when he was Robinho double, just about. It's like a little bit chubby Robinho. Yeah, Robinho's that chubby.
No, Robinho. Yeah, he grew out his hair and then he got muscular.
Yeah, I've always not liked Marcelo.
Seriously.
Well, you know, like I rate him as a footballer, but just not as a great defender. And I don't know. He's
like one of their best attacking talents.
Yes, absolutely. But I mean, it's such a typical or prototypical Brazilian fullback, right? I mean, these guys, him and Dani Alves. I think Dani Alves is probably a better defender than Marcelo is a defender, but they're both suspect. Like that's the one aspect of their game that's,
Yeah. But I think that's the risk you take. You just shift your defense to accompany that because Marcelo from that left side creates so many chances for them. Like you don't understand how vital he is to that time he was injured. Or when he was out, and then it's just like, wow, they can't create anything. He's a really good dribbler too. I really love him.
No, yeah, he takes on players well and all that. I mean, look, he is a good footballer. I just have never liked. Also I've always.
I take him over Gibbs.
So. Well, I mean, look, Gibbs is decent, but let's not get carried away. Let's not get carried away. I wouldn't say he's a better defender than him. So Joseph, what do you think? Who the hell? Well, if Real Madrid are going to Rafa,
it'll be a 1-year term.
6 months.
he gets brought in on these little bitch-made contracts. He really doesn't have any negotiating power.
They're lucrative, though, right? I mean, they're lucrative.
Sure.
Hey,
they need money.
Paid.
Yeah. Can't blame him there. Certainly, I'm not going to hate him for that.
I think he'll be there a year until they find whatever they really want, right?
Right.
Which I don't really know who that is. I really don't know who that is.
Yeah, there's nobody left.
So where does Klopp go? I heard some talk about a sabbatical kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said he's taking a year off.
Must be a job he wants that's not available yet, right?
Yeah.
I can see that. Manchester City job?
Maybe.
That one is available for him now,
because
right?
Pellegrini, the City just announced that Pellegrini's staying for the next year. So
did they?
Yeah. So
did they just
him and Yaya as well, because Yaya is staying. So.
Well, Yaya can't find someone else to pay him that long dollar. Inter don't have the money to pay him that right
Inter
now.
are gonna pay him that long dollar. Dude, Inter are basically at Yaya's door naked. And they're
going to pay him the wages he's on at City. They're going to pay him like $250K or whatever he's on.
Literally, everybody at Inter has said we're going to do everything possible to get Yaya and Inter, and he's just like, I'm going to stay at City one more year.
Wow.
Yeah, it's weird, but I guess he thinks.
I guess you can't blame him. I mean, who would want to play for Inter?
He wants to play Champions League football, so.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely fair. And to be fair to him, I mean, look, how many more years does Yaya really have at the top where he can play in the Champions League? I mean, this next year might be his last year in.
Depends on how motivated he is, right?
Right. Yeah, it really just depends on if he wants to show up.
He can still play. He's still got the motors there. It's just a little out of tune right now.
It's a little out of tune, and again, I mean, does he really
so
want
good. I mean, he's so talented. I don't think it's like he couldn't, be focused and dedicated and get right back to where he was. You know?
Yeah. Like you see it in certain games where he's like he comes on and it's like okay he wants to play this game and then he just runs the whole show. And then other games he's just like watching everybody else play and then he makes like a 60-yard pass and then disappears for the next 20 minutes.
So Travis, where do you think Paul Pogba will be playing next year?
Oh wow. I think Pogba stays at Juventus one last year.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I hope so.
I think he's at Madrid next summer.
And Barcelona next summer?
No, not Barcelona.
His agent kind of ruled out Real Madrid because he's like, what did he say? He said Real Madrid takes players and uses them and then throws them away like rags. And he said he doesn't want that for Paul Pogba. And then, I don't know. I mean, it's still Real Madrid. If they bring out the money, it's going to be hard to say no to that. But
it does. I mean, I don't know. It's just the gut feeling I have is that he would go to Barcelona over Real Madrid.
Well, if he stays one more year at Juventus, that definitely opens up that Barcelona door.
Well, I mean, and I think that might be the right.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's kind of the way it would work out. I mean, if that's really his number one choice, which for a lot of players it is, right? I mean, that is a lot of players like ultimate destination, right? One of those two.
Real or Barcelona?
I'd hate to see it at Barcelona.
One of the two. Yeah, because he'd be fucking the best in the world at
ridiculous.
Barcelona.
It'll be a cheat code. It'll be a cheat code.
Yeah, because he'll be a fucking hybrid of when Yaya was there with Iniesta, and it's gonna be sick nasty.
Well, he's so much better. He's like, what was it? I was having a discussion and I wrote about it because it's like you compare him to so many players, especially like Yaya, because I think that's the go-to player that people compare him to. Because Yaya can pass, he can move, he can do everything, but Pogba is like he dribbles like a winger. Like, you see him one-on-one and he's putting somebody on skates. He has that aspect. Yeah, absolutely. Like if you put Pogba on the wing, he's comfortable. If you put him up like as an attacking midfielder, he's comfortable. If you put him as a box-to-box, he can do it. And if you put him as a defensive midfielder, he can do it. It's like him and Vidal literally do everything. Except he's a better dribbler than Vidal is.
Right. Well, I mean, this is kind of like these players are the prototype of the modern footballer, right?
Yeah,
you say like the evolution of some of these footballers of being able to do that and be great in all these different locations and being comfortable in all those different positions is huge, but especially guys like him in terms of like the super athlete, like the next, we put together a prototype, right? We always say, people always say it, right, about Messi and Ronaldo, right? The Ronaldo's he's your FIFA player that, jacked up to 99 with all the stats, basically, like, okay, what's the perfect height and strength and speed? Let's make him the fastest, strongest, and best with everything. And Pogba's now like that.
He's getting beat by a hobbit.
And I fucking love it.
Dude, how do you become the perfect human being and a damn Bilbo Baggins is killing you?
Man, I know. It's beautiful. I think it's the beautiful irony, isn't it? That in that era where this guy believes he's a god, there's a mere mortal who is just more magic than he is.
Well,
I think it's.
If you consider being able to dribble through like 20 guys and lob the keeper.
Hey, man.
I think Messi's just a god in a different way. He's like Clark Kent. He walks in there and you're just like, okay, regular guy. And then he gets on the field and it's like, oh wow, I didn't know that was Superman.
But he just has an element of magic that's just, he does more breathtaking kind of stuff for me.
Because he's played in like 7 different. Well, like if you watch Messi throughout the years, it's like 3 or 4 total different players. Like Messi, when 19-year-old with the long hair, he's like a dribbler. That's all he did. He was just a big dribbler. And then Messi in the winger Messi when Pep was first taking over. He was just right wing, dribble, score. He was like Marco Reus. And then he turned into the false 9, who was like god of football I've ever seen. The guy who scores 89 goals in a calendar year. And now he's back to playmaking midfield / right wing Messi, who still scores a crap load of goals. It makes absolutely no sense to me.
Yeah, and he still puts up how many assists did he have this season?
He was leading in assists and second in goals.
He's got. I know he has over 20 assists across all competitions. Maybe not in La Liga, but he's got crazy numbers for assists. He's over 50 goals. I mean, it's just like when we get those stats around, willy nilly in that sense of just being, it's 50 something goals, whatever. It's a regular Messi season.
Yeah. He's the leader. He's the all-time leader in La Liga for goals, assists, and dribbles. Yeah. Like literally any attacking thing that there's a record for, he owns it.
Yeah.
So
let's it's enough waxing lyrical about Messi, a guy who is never going to play
for that guy.
But some who do, and some who potentially will. I won't say fuck that guy. That man is as close to a god as I'm willing to support. Because there aren't any others. So, Joseph, let's talk about Arsenal. Your boy, we waited a long time to get to this, had his best
I've been
performance.
patient. I didn't bring him up
I know. He had his best performance in an Arsenal shirt this season, playing center forward. There have been a lot of people who have been changing their tune. All of a sudden, we got questions. Who fucking starts the FA Cup final, Giroud or Walcott through the center?
It's the whole thing. Yeah, I mean,
I love
a little
Theo.
bit overboard.
I'm happy to see it, but I mean, what's up with this?
Well, I did watch the game more than once. You might not be surprised to hear that.
Oh, yeah. I think it's firmly burned into your spank bank.
Yeah, but the second time I went back and I just wanted to see his movement and how he moved with Alexis and how he really played beyond the goals, and in that first half he was constantly trying to make diagonal runs inside the box, and even on the even on the first goal, both he and Alexis were trying to make that same run, and one right after the other would try to make that run, looking for Ozil or Santi or Jack or someone to make a pass, inside the box for either one of them. But I mean, I think it's a little overboard to say who should start the final. I think Giroud's going to start the final, but I think the tougher call is. Well, I really don't. I honestly think it's going to be the same lineup that we've had 2 weeks ago, and then from there, like 5 games before that, I think Ramsey's going to be on the wing.
Just put Jack in.
Jack played a great half.
He did.
Yeah.
He played very well.
I mean,
Travis,
it was good.
Travis, you got thoughts on Wilshere?
Oh, well, I love Jack. Yeah, I absolutely love that kid. Even though he's an idiot, like as a person, he's a moron. But like as a player, I love the way he plays.
He's English. He's English. He's got like that the English lad spirit in him. That's a little too much. But we love him. He's already.
Yeah, but like as a player, he has that. He like as a midfielder, he has that drive. Like he gets the ball and he doesn't just want to pass it sideways. If he sees like 10 yards of space, he's gonna take it. And then I think anybody knows this, but defenders generally don't like players running at them because it makes you think. It makes you have to make a decision. Right? If they're just passing it side to side, you just move and you cover the ground. But when Jack is getting the ball from midfield and he's running at you at every instance, it's like he's breaking the defense down every time he does that. And even when you watch that game, he was creating a bunch of chances, even the ones that we didn't get shots off. Just him being able to move the ball inside the opponent's third creates a mismatch because it gives us more guys than they have.
Right.
But I love him, and he's really good with the ball, and he's gotten better at his passing, and now he can score volleys, I guess. So.
Well, I mean, he's scored one, and that really, I think, when we start to tally up reasons, we're going to go a little bit Ramsey Wilshere here. I mean, I think you'd have to say the big reason, the most defining reason as to why Ramsey plays over him in certain aspects is his ability to finish off chances and actually has more end product now.
And Ramsey's smarter.
He is
and
smarter.
better defensively. Yeah, Ramsey actually knows.
Ramsey's a better player.
Yeah, he's a better player than Jack, but Jack still is a good player. And the more he plays, because I think the biggest thing is that people keep saying he doesn't learn or he hasn't learned anything, and then you're like, well, he hasn't played in such a long time, and you learn by playing. You're not going to learn how to correct your mistakes unless you're on the field making those mistakes, paying for them, and then realizing, hey, I should actually get back when I lose the ball. But he's going to be a really, really good player, and I hope he stays at Arsenal for a long, long time because he's kind of wonderful to watch.
Well, I think both those players, both Theo and Jack, I think most people have been down on them for quite a while. As far as their outlook with Arsenal going forward. I mean, lots of people were talking about how next year is basically a make or break year for Jack. I don't really feel that way, but I like the fact that both of them took whatever opportunity was given. This West Brom on the last day, and we didn't really need to win the match, and West Brom didn't show up for the first 20 minutes, but they still put the effort in and made great decisions and had great end product, So, I mean, I thought it was a joy to watch that first half. It really was. And for me specifically, to watch those two players.
Do you think do you think that Jack did enough to actually get into that starting 11?
No.
Travis?
Well, no, I don't think so. But it's pretty weird, isn't it? Like, this feels like last year. Remember last year when it was right before the FA Cup and Szczesny was playing the last game, and he played really, really well. And then the question was, should Szczesny play over Fabianski for the FA Cup final? And everybody had this huge debate, and I was like, dude, let Fabianski play. You've trusted him throughout the whole thing. Let him play his final game.
So are you a firm believer that Szczesny will be starting this weekend?
Oh, yeah. But I also want Giroud to start over Theo because we've been playing Giroud this whole time, and he's been playing well. Let the dude who's got there finish it off.
I agree on both. I think they'll both start as well. Joseph, have you wavered at all on your stance on either one of those? Like you said you expect Giroud to start, right?
Yeah, I expect Giroud to start. I expect the lineup we saw for United and the lineup we saw for Swansea. That's the lineup I expect. I don't think anything will change. I think
Szczesny or Ospina.
It's Szczesny. Yeah, except Szczesny. because he's the cup keeper. But I just think that this game gave us a little more hope of what could come off the bench, though, in the final if needed.
Absolutely. I mean, it's great to see people that are options and people that come off the bench. We got to see someone who I've been wanting to see for a while because really, I mean, the guy, our promote from within, copyright Joseph, option on the right is Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. I really think what he gives us on that side is great. So I was happy to see him back on the pitch. I don't think it's enough to, I thought he would need at least 2 matches back before he could potentially vie for a starting bid on the right-hand side. But now those are probably the first 3 names, and you're thinking about who you'd bring off the bench outside of our starting 11, right? You've got Jack, we've got Theo, we've got the Ox. Those are great options to have.
We actually have a bench now.
And it's good. Yeah, exactly. We've got a real bench.
I don't understand why people want to sell these players when it actually gives us depth. You have those players you just talked about. Now Serge is finally coming back.
Sure.
After he disappeared off the face of the earth. Like, we don't have to get some youth player that's 18 years old like that. Like that weird situation where we had, what was his name, like Now something. Yeah. And it was like, or David Martinez. Yeah, it's like, dude, good teams have good depth. Why do we always have to be the team that's putting in an 18-year-old? Because either our great players have left or they're injured. We actually have good players. Why do you want to sell them now?
Yeah, and I don't think there's an idea that people want to sell them, but I mean, there's just the problem with, I don't know, is it that Arsenal's too nice, or is it just that we don't have, like, I know we have a high wage bill, but a lot of people, there's a certain structure to it. But at other teams, some people are willing to be more squad players because when you're getting paid $100K to sit around, like, there's worse gigs to have, right? If you're making £1,000 a week, £100,000 a week, something like that, maybe it's easier to deal with not playing it week in, week out. I don't know, but if we want to contend for the titles that we want to contend for, which are A, the Premier League, and B, the Champions League, we have to have that kind of depth because it's like, who are we trying to compare ourselves with? And what level do we want to be on? You want to be on level with teams like City, like Chelsea, like like Bayern, I know, I think it's crazy. Then you start talking about Bayern and Real and Barcelona, but we look at how many good players they have per position. You have to have that. I mean, it's interesting. I've been intrigued by the way they've done it at a couple of those clubs. They've kind of been adopting, and world football's adopting a bit of that rotating, like a keeper, the cup keeper versus league keeper. But with some of them, they're even doing the cups include the Champions League, which is I'm seeing it with Barcelona, having Ter Stegen doing that when you've had Bravo playing so well in the league is kind of a trip. But
well, I think they made a mistake because they got Ter Stegen and then they got Bravo, and I think Bravo was supposed to be the second keeper. But then something happened to Ter Stegen, and then Bravo came in on the league, and he was just so good. And it's like, you can't really take him out if he's like playing that well. And then it was like, all right, you'll play the cup, and they're both really, really good. So, but it's the same thing what Mourinho did with who was it? Diego Lopez and Casillas. Casillas won. Casillas was playing the cup, they were doing
it then. I know. So it's been an interesting trend. We've seen that be different. I mean, we've seen the way Arsenal likes to do it. It's obviously the top priority is those top 2, right? Yeah. So our number 1 plays Champions League and the Premier League. Our number 2 plays the FA Cup and the Capital One Cup, and that's the way it is. And I don't see that changing in any way, shape, or form. And, like we said, he's an old dog. I don't expect him to change what he does. He's going to go with Szczesny this weekend.
Yeah.
Unless
he deserves it. He's gotten us to the final.
Yeah, and he had to sit out on this. Look, I know he straight disrespected Arsene, and Arsene could just be gangster and just tell him at the end, the last second, like, hey, Ospina's going to start, and, you're never going to play for us again. But pretty fucking harsh.
At all.
No, it's not.
Diaby is still on our wage bill.
That's true. But I don't know. I feel like Arsenal's he's got a little bit of a vindictive streak in something. I feel like maybe, I don't know. We don't need to get into
he gets mad, but he's like, he gets mad the same way a dad gets mad.
Right.
He gets mad, and then like the next 10 minutes, he's hugging you and telling you that you're a really good person. I just want what's best for you. Arsene doesn't get Mourinho mad where he cuts you and then you don't even speak to him for the rest of the season.
So Joseph, are you comfortable that we're going to beat Tim Sherwood's men at the weekend?
Well, I mean, I guess it's a final, so I'm always nervous. But
right.
Yeah, I mean, I think we have the squad, and for the most part, performing well enough to beat them, and we should beat them. I won't say easily, but kind of easily. Kind of easily, not completely easily. Just kind of easily.
I like
kind of easily, like the way we kind of easily beat Hull last time, because I kind of thought that would be kind of easily too.
Well, that one I almost shit my pants at the pub, so that wasn't good.
I was sitting next to you, so I'm glad you did not.
I was pretty excited.
By the way, for all of you in LA, I would say get down to the Fox and Hounds, but they sold out their tickets and they're at capacity even before I went to get them. So I will not be at the Fox, but enjoy it there. I might be on the west side, so if you're around, go to the Cock and Bull in Santa Monica. That's where I'll probably be. But, so sorry, Joseph, to let you know on air that we don't have tickets.
Yeah, no, I saw the I saw your tweet to the
account. I was like, "Fuck, man!" And I was there at the weekend too, and I forgot to ask them before I left. Amateur hour.
Yeah. So if we don't, I mean, I was there for the win, so.
So if we don't, it's my fault because I didn't get tickets for us to go.
I'm just saying.
You're saying? Okay, all right. I'll wear it. I'll wear it if we lose. I'll take that. It's okay. I'm not the superstitious one.
Right. No, I know it's me.
Oh man. Travis, you feel good about it?
Yeah, it's Tim Sherwood. If I ever have to live in a world where Tim Sherwood is outsmarting Arsene, then I'll probably
FA Cup final.
Yeah, I'll probably just find a different sport. I'll tell SB Nation I'm never writing about soccer again.
Hey, how about them Lakers? Pick number 2.
Oh yeah, definitely. I hope we get like Russell or somebody good. But yeah, like screw Tim Sherwood. He's an idiot. Yeah. I hope we beat him like 5-0, just like destroyed him.
Yeah, I really love for it to follow the blueprint of the West Brom game. Yeah. That would be lovely. Can we just get a repeat, a little carbon copy? I'm gonna go for a 3-0.
Yeah, 3-0.
No, 3-1. Nice. 3-1. We'll get a 3-1.
Yeah, we're Arsenal.
3-1. Goals from Giroud, Alexis, and Ramsey. Yeah. Joseph?
Well, I'm going to go more conservative. 2-1. Santi scores, finally. And
it'd be about fucking time, right?
And Alexis scores.
Okay.
Alexis gets the winner.
All right.
Takes off the shirt. Shirt.
Right. Shows off all that bod.
Yeah. Travis, what's your score prediction?
3-0. I think Giroud scores twice, and I'm just being hopeful here. I hope Ozil scores once.
That would be
just
great.
So I could post that ice cream picture.
It is a good ice cream picture. That's no surprise. I dig it. All right, we're going to do a couple little last things before we leave. So we've been doing this with all the guests in the past couple weeks. Travis, give me 2 players you signed for Arsenal and why.
Morgan Schneiderlin, because Kogelin is nice, but no. And that's weird.
You can't think of one now?
Give me a second. I would say a striker. I think I want a striker.
A striker or a forward?
Yeah, Mandzukic. Yeah. I'll take Mandzukic.
Interesting. So another point kind of forward, not a pacey forward? Because it seems like if we're going for an attacking player, it'll be someone, we have our target man, so someone, and we have Sinogo as a backup target man.
No, not Mandzukic. Carlos Bacca.
Did just win the Europa League title.
Yes.
I would talk about that, but No, I know. Hold on. We refuse to talk about the Europa fucking League on the Pintcast until we are forced into it by Arsenal falling into it. And that's never happened yet, which is more than Chelsea and United can say. So we will not be covering anything about the Europa League.
Well, just as him as a player, he's not slow.
No.
He's quick enough, and he makes those runs.
He's agile and a poacher. Yeah.
Yeah, he makes great runs, and he can finish with any foot. He's a really, really good finisher. I love him, so I would take him. Okay,
I'll take it. Joseph, have you wavered at all? Have you gone back and forth on this? Who are your two players? I forget.
Oh well, I don't remember if I had a player. I think I just I think last week I said we needed a bigger, better cock, and then
the Schneider cock would be good enough for
you. I don't know if Schneider.
I mean, how big does it have to be?
I mean,
jeez, man.
What do you need to be satisfied, man?
I don't know. I'm not sure he's the player we need, but
okay.
But someone in that. I mean, I'm someone in that position.
So give me a name. Give me a name of a defensive midfielder.
There's not too many of them.
Yeah, there's not a ton that seem that would be readily available. I mean, really outside of the Schneiderlin.
De Jong is available this summer.
Well, there you go.
Do you guys think? I mean, so I'm not going to put any faith into a Vidal rumor, much less any sort of Pogba rumor.
That's funny.
But do you think though, just hypothetically, you could do a double box-to-box midfielder combo for us? Like, would a Ramsey Vidal midfield work? Would a Ramsey Pogba midfield work? I mean, is that something that's feasible? I'm not obviously we're not going to talk about actually getting those players, but would that kind of midfield succeed?
Oh yeah, it has before. Remember Chelsea with Ballack, Essien, and Lampard?
Yeah.
Those midfields succeed as long as your players aren't idiots. Like that trio, it was like Essien is a super box-to-box midfielder. He's like the god of midfielders when he still had knees.
When he was the Bison and had good knees.
Yeah. So it's like if Essien wants to go up, Lampard and Ballack will sit, or one of them will sit. Like Ballack will sit, and then Lampard be ahead of him.
But the thing is that our midfield three. This is all right. So let's suppose that you're playing with Ozil as a number 10. So you don't have three robust midfielders. We're only talking about 2 of the 3, and you're playing with Ozil as a 10.
Oh yeah. Well, as long as one of them sits and is gonna do the defensive work. Let's see if it's not gonna be Vidal. Vidal has to be like the one going back and forth. Because if you just sit Vidal back, you're wasting him. But it's the same with Ramsey.
That's the thing. That's why they're like, I look at those guys in the beginning of last season.
Yeah.
And with the half season that Ramsey had before injury, on form, I thought Vidal and Ramsey were the 2 best box-to-box midfielders playing in Europe during that first half of the season. But they're very similar. They're both engines.
But as long as one of them, it doesn't have to be a permanent one that's sitting. As long as they're smart enough to watch the play and then decide which one of them is going to go forward and which one is. It's a 90-minute game. They can trade. And Ballack and Essien did that for a while. As long as they're smart enough to decide which one's going to go and which one's going to stay for a while, it should work. It's not Steven Gerrard and Frank Lampard who just said fuck it and we're both gonna go up. Yeah. As long as they're smart, you have smart players, you can make anything work.
Yeah.
That's
fair enough.
That's my philosophy.
Your opinions on Royce?
Me?
Yeah, you.
Marco Royce?
Marco Royce.
Like, is he coming to Arsenal or just general opinion?
Well, do you see him moving this summer?
Oh, no, he just signed that new contract, didn't he?
Yeah, but does that ever mean anything anymore? I mean, the only thing that does is it usually means they'll stick around for one more season and ensure that their club gets full value from the transfer market.
Well, he's like 26, going on 27 now. and he was supposed to go to Real Madrid. So unless like Ronaldo just really starts falling off soon, I think he's going to be one of those weird attacking players that actually stay, which is, I don't know, it's just weird in these times. But I think he stays. Plus, he's for some reason there hasn't been a lot of talk about him lately. It's like he died and like fell off the face of the earth. So.
Well, you know, I mean, he missed a few things with the World Cup injury and then his injury midway through the season. And yeah, I mean, I think signing the new deal makes things a little more quiet, you know, because he and Pogba were the two big potential.
Yeah, he's one of my favorites.
He is moving. He is moving. He is moving, but it won't be to Arsenal.
No, definitely won't be to Arsenal.
Don't shatter my dreams.
Oh, man, we can all dream, but no.
We can. We'll see how that one progresses. Yeah, well, so you guys we're across the board. We believe Barcelona's probably going to take it next week. Arsenal will win the FA Cup. Barcelona will win the...
Yeah, Barcelona will win the FA Cup as well.
No, they're going to win the Copa del Rey, which is directly after the FA Cup. So there you go. Make your betting picks accordingly. Do the might as well just go for. You could probably trifecta that, right? Or sorry, parlay that 3 ways. Pretty safe bet. That one. I'd make it. I don't know. Anything else, Joseph? Did I miss anything? Did we missed anything, or is it getting too late and are we getting delirious?
No, I don't think we've missed anything. Though I'm trying to think. Was anything big? I mean, nothing was really big from the weekend, other than a nice performance in the end of the league.
Yeah. Do you guys? I mean, obviously, I guess we can wait until after the FA Cup for some of this. But I mean, just for the league in general, I know we didn't pick up more points than last season. But Travis, do you feel like this was a step forward for us?
Oh, well, it's
sideways.
Feels like last year. Yeah, it's sideways. It feels like last year. And the only difference now is that Manchester United didn't find their identity till late on, and Manchester City sucked.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we weren't really in a title race like that, so no.
Well, hopefully things will be remedied next season.
Yeah, I think it is sideways also, but
yeah.
Look,
but not
retain an FA Cup, and that's something that hasn't been done in a while, you know, and that will be an impressive feat. But we got to go and win the match on Saturday first. So, to Arsenal doing that and making it happen would be fan-fucking-tastic. So please let's see that. Check out these fine fellows on Twitter. Follow Joseph at IHateYourClub. Follow Mr. Zito here, Travis at _Zeets, and read his inflammatory pieces that will have all crying all day on SB Nation. Thank you so much for checking us out. We'll be back next week to preview the Champions League. Later.
All right, perfect.